There was a video posted today from Funcom. It's called "What's the Latest in Conan Exiles?" and it answers some of the burning questions that many of us have had. I know I was wondering about these specific topics, and I think most people probably were, just like me. Now I'm going to show you the video in its entirety, broken up into segments, and I'm going to talk about each one of those segments. If you want to watch the video in its entirety without my commentary, the link for the video is in the description of this video.
Hey there Exiles, Andy here. Just dropping by for a few updates from the dev team. So first and foremost, in case you missed it, we released a new update on June 18th featuring the return of bounty hunting, as well as the introduction of Down But Not Out, a new way for you to revive your thralls, followers, and pets in case they go down in combat. We also have a new hotfix that went out a little while ago, available on all platforms. For patch notes and information about that, you can go to our forums at forums.funcom.com, go to Conan Exiles, your favorite platform, and patch notes. We'll also have a new version of the mod kit available as well.
So I have a video that breaks down both the update and then the hotfix that came not that long ago. If you want to watch those, they're linked in the description of this video. But they've added the Down But Not Out feature to the game, and I think that's a really cool feature. It'll be interesting to see how they build upon that, because if you've watched Conan Exiles be developed over the long period of time that it has, the patches kind of are different layers of the onion, and you don't get to see the full scope of what they're planning and doing until you get multiple layers in. So I have a feeling this is layer number one to a much larger feature or set of features that have to do with the Down But Not Out edition. Additionally, they talk about the return of the witch hunt event, and I still feel like those are missing from the map. I don't feel like they come as often as they should, especially if it's a limited time event. We should be seeing those more often. I know I have yet to see one spawn in any of my gameplay, and I've had a few other people that say the same thing. They're just not seeing them. A few people have said that they've seen them, but I feel like the rate at which those are or are not spawning is still turned way down and probably needs to be looked at.
Since we began rolling out Ages and Chapters, we've been releasing one new chapter update roughly every 3 months. That's a lot, and we've learned a lot. One of the things we learned is that some of our recent updates haven't been up to the level of quality we need them to be for the scope and the type of content that we're releasing, and that we want you to enjoy. So, in addition to the update, we also announced some big changes coming your way. Specifically, that we're removing the Battle Pass, starting with the next age, as well as changing our release cadence, and releasing new chapter content every 6 months instead of 3 months, but still including a small content update with some new events where we can. Now, these are big changes, and naturally, you all had a lot of questions in our replies and comments. So, we wanted to take a moment and talk about them.
Well, I can't agree more with Andy at this point. The updates have not been up to par and up to the quality that we expect for Conan Exiles. I've told Funcom in the past multiple times that I'd love nothing more than to cheerlead for them when new patches come out, but those patches have to come in a form that makes it very difficult to pick them apart. Over the last year, I would say that most of the patches that have come out have caused heartache for some of the community, and this just can't continue. So, the fact that they're changing the amount of time that they're taking to generate these patches is a good thing, as long as those patches actually come to the public in a state where they're not causing heartache for players. If they can hit that one metric alone, that one measurement, the patches don't cause heartache to their players, then they'll be miles ahead of where they were just a few months ago or even years ago. As many of you know, I love Conan Exiles. I've loved Conan Exiles for quite some time, and I want to love the future Conan Exiles as well. So even though I'm a little bit distressed that I have to wait longer for new and exciting things to come to the game, I'm really excited to see that they've put their best foot forward in each and every patch we see in the future.
Now, many of you are also wondering, what happens to items from previous battle passes? Will those items be available again sometime in the future? The answer is yes. We intend to make items from previous battle passes available again in some fashion sometime in the future. We're still working out details on exactly how that's going to look, but we'll let you know as soon as we have more information.
So battle pass items are in the game, and they're in the game for everyone. You just may not have access to them if you didn't complete that battle pass. Now there's probably two thought processes here that some people feel like, well, I was here when the battle pass happened, and so I should have exclusivity to those items. And then there's people like me who feel like, well, those items are in everyone's game, so now that the battle pass is gone, why not make those available in some other way? Whether that's selling them outright in the store or just making it so that the battle pass can be purchased and played through at anyone's leisure. I know there's a lot of details for Funcom to figure out on how to package this and put it in the game, but personally I'm a fan of having these items available for people to purchase, or for the previous battle passes to just be available to people so that they can play through those and get those items at their leisure. Now I'm not necessarily sad that the battle pass is gone, but I feel like the battle pass was an area that was tuned properly, right? The price was good, it went along with most battle passes in game. You got currency back if you completed it, and I felt like this was a viable option for people to invest a little bit of money into Funcom and reap some rewards from it. But now that that's gone, I'll be interested to see how they structure the bazaar for pricing going forward.
Now, you might have heard me say new events. Bounty hunting is only the beginning. Moving forward, we'll also have brand new events, as well as new ways to experience content that you thought you might have already been familiar with.
So this is an interesting two-part answer to a single question. So new events will be coming to Conan Exiles, but they're also talking about tweaking things that we are familiar with in the game already. So whether that means the event makes that change, or whether they're making permanent changes to areas that we've had for a long time, I'm not sure. However, what I'll say about this is those events need to be tuned to a point where people can engage in them. Going back to talking about the current event, the witch hunt, that is something that's not tuned properly, so a lot of players aren't coming across these, even if they're going to the areas where those are. People are having a hard time finding those events, and if you have a hard time finding the event, then you're not going to know what's going on, and you're going to be missing out on content. Again, I hope that the cadence for the updates means that Funcom will get this right so that everybody can enjoy these new events and the changes to the content that we're familiar with.
Now, some of you have also been wondering how Dune Awakening might be affecting Conan Exiles development. Well, Dune Awakening and Conan Exiles have completely separate dev teams that are fully dedicated to their respective projects, and there's no plans to downscale one in favor of the other or anything like that. In fact, we just hired more people for the Conan Exiles team, so we're not going anywhere. Again, we're doing this to give ourselves more time between major releases to make sure that they're up to the level of polish and quality that we all want. You can expect the first details of the next age coming this August as well, so keep an eye out for that. Hopefully you've enjoyed this, or at the very least got something out of it. In any case, thank you for watching. Hope you have an excellent summer, and we'll see you around. Bye!
So this is something that's been a huge discussion in the community that follows along with Funcom. Are they pulling assets to work on Dune that should be working on Conan Exiles? And I think Conan Exiles has been in a state where it really felt like that, right? The patches weren't polished. We had issues with each and every patch that seemed so big that how could they not have pulled people away from the team in order to work on a different project? Wrapping it all up into a nice, neat package, here's how Funcom really needs to progress with Conan Exiles and with Dune moving forward to really garner a bit more stability in the community so that the community relies on them and feels like they're trustworthy. Again, the patches have to come out in a really, really good state. You cannot bring heartache to players in the game with the patches. So with the extra time that they're using, they need to be on point with those updates. They can't put out updates where something breaks and we wait for a couple of weeks for a hotfix. They can't put out patches right before a weekend or a holiday where there's nobody there to fix issues if they arise. And I think another thing that really tarnishes Funcom's relationship with the community is the prices of items in the Bazaar store. They really need to look at that and say, is this a fair market value? Now, I know there are games out there that charge an enormous amount of money for a skin, but most of the time those are free-to-play games. Conan Exiles is not a free-to-play game. So I really want to see them tweak and tune that store pricing to the point where people feel like that's a fair price. And the message that that would send to me would be that they are concerned with the community and what the community's doing with a very old game. And that means that that's going to translate into that they're concerned with the community and what the community is doing with a game that they're going to launch in the future. Andy said that the teams for Conan Exiles and Dune Awakening were far removed and were not intermingled. But what I can say to Funcom is that the community that's going to play Conan Exiles and Dune are intermingled. So what you're doing with Conan Exiles will directly affect what happens with Dune, and I think they have to understand that. All in all, I'm very excited for the future of Conan Exiles. I want to see how this whole thing works because there's a lot of things changing all at once with Conan Exiles, and I think Funcom could be on the right path, giving themselves more time to make sure that the updates are right, but I'd still say that comes with the heavy burden of making sure it's right. Nobody wants to see Funcom take more time to produce patches that had issues like they were in the past. And I want to know in the comment section below, what's your current relationship with Funcom? Have you written them off entirely? Are you excited to see what they're doing in the future? Could they get you back if you've decided to walk away from the game? I'd like to thank all my YouTube members for your continued support. Y'all are absolute legends. Don't forget to whack the like button if you enjoyed the video and subscribe for more content. And if you don't want to be out of whack, there's another video on the screen right now that you can click to support more of my content.